Hi everyone and welcome back. Have you ever been frustrated by the situation when you set your goals, say in the beginning of the year, and then nothing happens? You don't feel motivated, you can't keep track of them, and you're losing your sense of progress. It happened to me more than once. It kind of feels a bit depressing when in the end of the year you realize that you haven't achieved the goals you hoped for. So in this video, I'll be talking about 5 ways how to improve your current goal setting and 7 alternative ways to do that, so you can actually stick to your goals. Let me give you a bit of a context on the issue. At the end of each year, I make a list of personal goals / things I would like to achieve. Over time, I realized it doesn't work for me that well because a year seems like a long stretch of time and it gave me a false sense of time. Perhaps goals were not specific enough and I couldn't estimate them correctly. Certain things became irrelevant over time, but for some reason I felt uncomfortable to replace them or remove them from my list. Last year in 2020, while doing this exercise, I already felt like I'm not really sure if that's gonna work. So it didn't. In the meanwhile, I even tried the 12-week planning method, but it didn't work for me either. So I decided that I need to revisit my approach to goal setting and do something about it. In the first part of this video, I'll be talking about the improving of current goal setting, and in the second part, I'll dive deep into the alternatives to goal setting. When it comes to improvements, I figured out 5 things that I think potentially could help me. Number 1, check in with my goals regularly. I suspect that was my main issue. I set up the list with my goals for the year and then I checked the first time with them in June, and guess what? Nothing really happened. So it would be beneficial to check with the goals more frequently. It's especially important if the goal is big and abstract. Make sure you're still on track and the goal is still relevant. Number 2, set goals in terms of effort and not result. In this case, something like finish course X becomes spend 3 hours each week doing course X. Or things like get fit becomes do 15-minute exercise every day. So you dedicate a certain amount of effort to that goal instead of focusing on the result. It makes it more specific and more likely to be achieved. Number 3, make goals more visible. Set reminders to check in with your goal, block calendar time to work on something, put the post-it notes all over your house so that you have a constant reminder of the things that you want to achieve. Number 4, ask someone to keep you accountable. For example, you can ask a friend to check in with you every week about the specific goal. Or if it works for you and if you feel comfortable, you can announce it publicly on social media and post regularly about your progress. When I was looking for alternatives, this method popped up under the name Open Goal Process. And it has 2 components. First one is instigation and inspiration from the mentors. And number 2, additional resources, encouragement, and support from peers. Okay, number 5, create a theme for your goals. A theme would be like an umbrella term for the things that you would like to work on this year. It creates additional meaning and links your goals together. For example, if your theme is improve finances, here you can add things like start budgeting, learn how to meal prep, declutter the wardrobe, do a no-spend month, and so on. All right, let's move on to alternatives. How about we do something different, something unconventional when it comes to goal setting? I made a bit of a research and here are 7 things that I found. Number 1, make it meaningful for yourself. You're likely to achieve your goal if it makes a lot of sense to you, if you know your why. This approach suggesting imagining the process of getting to your goal, not just the outcome. It has goal and process questions. Goal question is what you will attain. It's so dark. And process questions are how you meet challenges, develop skills, and change some habits to make that goal happen. Number 2, set anti-goals, things that you would like to stop doing or no longer want in your life. The question that you need to ask yourself is, how am I complicit in creating the conditions that I don't want? The article where I found this method suggests to take a piece of paper, divide it into 2 parts, and on the left you write something that makes you unhappy, and on the right you will write your anti-goal. For example, you feel tired from lack of sleep, that will be something that makes you unhappy, and the anti-goal here would be to go to bed before 11 p.m. Number 3, micro goals. Micro goals are goals that literally takes 5 to 10 minutes to accomplish. For example, If you want to write a 40,000 word novel, which sounds like a very daunting task, you can break it down to the minimal task that you could do within 5 minutes. For example, write 40 words. The trick here is that the micro goal could work as a momentum for you to do more. So starting with 5 minutes, you may actually continue, and then you would write not 50 words, but maybe 1,000. And like that, you are more likely to accomplish your novel. Number 4, no goals. Leah Babauta, the author of Zen Habits, suggests that a life without goals is free from these obligatory steps that make us procrastinate. Instead, we can opt out to fill our days with things that we feel passionate about and explore our own curiosities. Ask yourself, what am I being pulled to do today? The chances are that the answer to this question is a better proxy to what you need to focus your time and energy on than some arbitrary goals that you set for yourself on January the 1st. Number 5, yearly goals for each area of life. This is not exactly an alternative, but that makes things more specific. So if you look at this diagram, it represents several areas of your life. You can copy these ones, you can use something else, and you can evaluate how things are going in each area of your life and set goals according to the things that you would like to be improved. Number 6, build systems instead of setting goals. Admittedly, I find this one rather intriguing, and I think I would like to dive deeper into the topic of systems in a separate video. What exactly are systems and how are they different from goals? Scott Adams, the author of the book How to Fail at Almost Everything in Life and Still Win Big, kind of a story of my life, talks about the difference between systems and goals and advocates for setting systems instead. So, for example, losing 10 pounds is a goal, which a lot of people cannot maintain. Whereas eating right is a system that you create instead, and that knowledge will substitute the willpower you need to restrict yourself from eating stuff. Number 7, be too ambitious. That's one of the things that you can trick your mind into thinking to achieve more. Set yourself a super ambitious, almost impossible goal. The trick is, you may not reach your goal because it's impossible, but you may still make better progress than if you set yourself a regular goal. To conclude this video, I would like to try 4 of these things. I might create an experiment out of them. I might do something about them next year. We'll see. So the following 4 things are micro goals, making goals more visible, no goals, and systems instead of goals. But you might ask whether no goals are in conflict with the rest. I don't think so. I like the idea of no goals as figuring out what is it that I'm pulled to do and focusing my time and energy on these things. However, it might be easier to accomplish these things still if I have a system around them, if I make them more visible, and if I chunk them into really, really small tasks. I would like to try something, and I would let you know in one of my videos. Alright, and that was it for today's video. What do you think about these approaches? Did you ever try any of that? Do you know any other ways that work for you? Please let me know in the comments below. And as always, thank you for watching. I really appreciate that. Please hit the like and subscribe button if you liked the video, and I will see you next week. Cheers!